But yeah, you're supposed to do a lot less damage if you attack her too early.
The results will be the same. Good. You pay for what you've done.
And it keeps succeeding.
Oh, Father. No.
So you're struggling with GMGoW and you're wondering how did I beat her in 2 seconds? Well, first I want to thank you guys for the support you've shown me on my recent videos. It takes a lot of time and effort to make these videos, so any support you show is greatly appreciated. Now, without wasting any more time, let's get straight into it, because there's a lot to go over. I know it looks like a quick fight, but there's a lot of preparation and execution that comes into play. First and foremost, let's go over the Blades of Chaos. In the entire fight, I only use one attack, and that's in the skill tree. It can be found in the Blades of Chaos skill tree. You need this whole thing upgraded. Now, you want to unlock the damage mod token, and if you're on New Game Plus, you can upgrade this further to damage plus. That should cost you, if you press X on the other one, this should cost you 10,000 Kratos XP to upgrade this. So I have it at damage plus on the Flame Whiplash Scorched Earth 1. Now the next most important thing is Scorched Earth 2. Striking an enemy during its attack with Scorched Earth significantly increases the damage dealt. Now, the two attacks I do on GMGoW, they're both while she's doing her attack. And now it doesn't look like it, but I literally wait, practice, time it, so I could get it right as soon as she's starting up her attack. And that's why I was able to do so much damage. If you're not doing as much damage, you're most likely hitting her while she's not in the middle of an attack.
See you pay for what you've done.
Yeah, see right there, that was too early. So that's the damage reduction if you don't hit her during her attack. Flame Whiplash 2. I've had so many people ask me how I'm able to charge up my Flame Whiplash instantly without smashing the triangle button. And they either don't have this unlocked or they don't understand the description clearly, so I'm gonna explain this in depth. Now, all you gotta do is press triangle after an attack, but you gotta wait a little bit. Now, how do you know how long to wait? Well, if you have controller vibration enabled, your controller vibrates to indicate that it's ready to be fully charged. So if I do an attack, there, my controller gave me a small vibration. If I do any attack, it does like a little small vibration. The same goes for the axe. If I do an attack, vibrates. And actually Kratos does a little stance, letting you know it's ready. So look how fast you can do it. The same goes for the blades. Getting distracted.
Fight me.
Oh, trust me, you don't want that, GMGoW. I'll kill you in 2 seconds. Now, the faster you can do this, the more efficient it is for most of the time, but in this fight, you actually have to time it during her attack. But it's a really important thing that you keep practicing it so you don't do it too early. I'm going to show some examples of what it looks like if you do it too early. See? Limp. Not very good. Now, if you do it too late, I mean, there's nothing really wrong with that, but it's always better to try to do it earlier. See that? That's about a perfect timing right there. Now, although you can do that attack out of most attacks, there are a couple ones that are really fast. The fastest ones are usually regular attacks like this one, the running attack, and the actual most fastest one are the shields, either the Dauntless Shield or the Shatter Shield. There might be more, but I only use those two. Now, me specifically, I don't like double tapping L1. That like takes away time for me. So I play on the PS5 and I've like changed my controls and accessibility, I think it's called. Let me see. Controls? Nope. Remapping? Yes. So you go to touchpad shortcuts and you can put swipe up, swipe right, down, left into whatever you like. Now, personally, I like to have Spartan Rage as swipe up because I don't like the other two controls it has, and it's really useful for me. And the other one is swipe down that I really like. Shield Strike is swipe down. Quick turn, I don't really use that because it doesn't seem very good in this game. Swipe right, I actually do use that sometimes. I might go into a depth on what I use that one for. Just a quick thing, helps you see things better, like the climb. Alright, let me show you how I do the attacks. First one, I'm going to do the running one. And then the regular slash. And then finally a shield bash. Now that you know the attack, I would recommend practicing it. I was pretty bad with it when I first learned it, so it just takes a lot of practice, and the more you practice, the better you're going to get. And it doesn't just work on her, it works on every enemy, and it's arguably the strongest attack in the game. Now, most people know you can just hold triangle and have it charge up, or you could just smash it and charge it up really quickly. But one thing people don't actually know is that once it's fully charged, you could just dash and then have it charge it up all the way again, instantly. All you gotta do is dash and then hold triangle or mash triangle. Now, why is that important? Well, because again, you do a lot more damage when you interrupt an enemy attack with it. So you could just have it charge up all the way, wait for the enemy to come to you, and then the moment they do the attack, dash their attack, dodge it, and then hit him with it, with a counter attack, and then you'll do a lot more damage. Now let's get into the builds. There's actually two builds for this. The first one is the pre-build and then the post-build. The pre-build is for the buffs and the post-build is for the actual fight. First let's go over the pre-build. So this is what you're going to want to save the game as. You want to, anytime you're doing retries for this fight, you want to start with this build, so then you could change it later on. So this is the build that you're going to have saved. Quick disclaimer, if you find the build swapping to be really annoying, you don't want to have to go through all of that, and you don't actually care about killing her in 2 to 3 seconds as long as she's dead, then you don't actually have to do all this swapping. Just copy the post build and try your luck with that. Should work out just as well to kill her. It's just not going to be really fast like the ones in my video. Alright, first we're going to go over the pre-build. The pre-build is actually a build you're just going to use to buff your character before the fight starts. I'm told I go too fast, so I'm trying to be as slow as possible. But if that's still too fast, then you can change the playback settings on YouTube and make it go in like half speed or a quarter speed. And hopefully that helps you pause the video. But just copy everything you see here. Okay, so there's a small correction for the Freya's accessories. If you copied the previous things I've shown, make sure you change it to these instead. Sigil Punishment for the extra damage you get whenever GMGoW is afflicted with Hex. You want Knock Proficiency for every third runic arrow firing an extra 3. That's going to help with the Hex affliction quicker. And then finally Reckless Empowerment, so that whenever you fully shoot all the runic arrows and you have nothing and it's recharging, it's going to do a lot more damage. So these are the 3 you want. And as for the runic summon, make sure it's Seor, Exhale, and it's fully upgraded to level 3, so that's going to help you poison her. Alright, now that you copied the pre-build, I'm going to show you which buffs to activate in which order. So start off with the spear, throw it somewhere away from her, and then start with your relic. L1X, swipe up to get rage, and then triangle to get the detonator's might. If you look on the left side of the screen, you can see all of those active. Quick side note, make sure you save the game with the pre-build, so anytime you retry, you could always get the same build all over again. You don't have to keep swapping. And then if you die with a resurrection stone, you can just quickly press load and then go back and retry. Now that I covered the pre-build, let's talk about the post-build. The post-build is the one you're actually going to use to fight her. There's a couple things you need to swap. First is the wrist armor. You're going to switch to the Hunter's Gauntlets, get the extra 18 strength and 56 cooldown. And then the waist, you're going to switch to the Hunter's Belt as well for the 38 strength and 56 cooldown. This is a cooldown build, so the more cooldown you have, the more damage your character is going to do. Since you already activated your rage and you got the buff, you don't need the Boon of Valor anymore. You can switch it to something that's better. Me personally, I'm going to switch to the Strength and Luck one for the extra Strength and Luck. But if you kill the Berserker that drops the cooldown one, use that one instead. Now, if you don't feel like doing all this swapping stuff and it's very tedious for you and you don't care about killing her really fast, you could just use this build as it is right now. The Hunter's Belt, Hunter's Wrist, Gauntlets, and the Amulet Boon of Valor. And just save it this way so there's no swapping necessary. Now it's time to go over the amulet sets. First set we have is the Asgard set. I'm using the Fortitude, Justice, and Virtue. Once you have 3 of these, you get set bonus increases the damage of all of Kratos' triangle attacks based on his cooldown. So having a high cooldown stat increases our whiplash damage. So make sure. Next set is the Vanaheim set. I'm using Fortitude, Virtue, and Fortune. This one affects set bonus increases Kratos' melee damage against status afflicted enemies based on his luck. Our luck is sitting at 244. If I were to use this one, once I swap out, it's going to be 264, so that's going to affect my damage a lot, not to mention the extra strength at 619. Now, the status I'm going to afflict her with is actually sigil arrows, so that actually counts, but also I'm going to poison her, so those 2 are both going to help. So whenever she's afflicted by any status, I'm going to do a lot more damage. Alright, I'm going to attempt to do this live. I haven't practiced in a while, so bear with me.
Good.
Trying to remember everything real quick. That's pretty good. Let's see. Shouldn't take too long, huh?
You pay for what you've done.
Wow, first try. Wait, did I just set a world record again?
No.
Well, since we're here, I might as well show you some of their attacks. I'm just going to try to dodge all of her stuff so you guys get an idea of what the best way to dodge some of these are. Right there, she did the dash attack, so anytime she dashes to the right, she's going to do that follow-up red attack most of the time. She might do something else, but that's how you know she's going to do that wing attack stab. So just dash to the right for that one. If she goes to the left, it's a different one. I'm going to show what to do for that one after this. I need to show this attack. Okay, see, now she went to the left. She's not going to do the stab, she's going to do this. Any sort of attack you can block. There's the one where you have to use sigil one instead of the stun arrows. Yeah, see that? She dashed to the left and she did that. And then if she does that combo, she's going to follow up with the stab again. So remember that one. Sometimes she will dash backwards and do the stab attack. That one's pretty unpredictable. That's like the one move that I can't like always predict. So you just got to be careful with that one. That's just BS sometimes. I'm going to stop parrying her because I want her to do different attacks. I was hoping that was a different one. Alright, dash to the right. You see that? Anytime she dashes to the right, she does red attack. Be very careful with that. Okay, so I realized I might have went a little too fast, so I'm going to slow it down. You first throw your spear, and then your first thing you activate is your relic, which is L1 and X for me, and then after that I activate my rage, which I use swipe up on the touchpad, and then finally I press triangle to activate my detonators thing with my spear. Those are the order. I'm going to show it. 1, 2, 3. Now if you look at the left of my screen, there's 5 activated, but there's actually 6. The last one shows up at the end because they don't have too many things that could show up in the screen. That's what it looks like. Okay, so huge shout out to Zeus of Aegis. As I was making this video, he slowed down one of my old videos and like told me something that I didn't even realize. So apparently if you get rid of the Fatebreaker engraving, like if you get rid of it or change it out for something else, it no longer stays active. So you need to make sure that thing is on if you want the benefits of that. That doesn't seem to apply for the Boon of Valor. This one you can get rid of and you'll still keep the benefits, but that one specifically, you have to keep it on. So I'm going to keep that as a permanent thing. See, Fatebreaker engraving. I'm just going to show it in a video just so you guys understand how that buff works. If I activate my rage, you get Enraged Might, Valorous Bloodthirst, and then the Raging Aftermath comes in last, which one takes a little bit of time to activate. But let's say I get rid of both of these. You'll see the Raging Aftermath is gone, but the Enraged Might and the Valorous Bloodthirst are both still there. So yeah, don't get rid of that one. So this build was originally going to look a lot more different if it wasn't for Zeus of Aegis telling me about this stuff. So there was going to be a lot more armor swapping involved, but I had to completely scratch that build and restart all over again and make a multitude of changes. So thanks to him for all the information he's found.
What are you waiting for? Fight me!
As you wish. Now that you've made it to this far into the video, now it's for the secret ingredient to be revealed. I'm going to use her as the testing dummy, and she's going to show us how to increase the damage massively for this. So,
good. I'll see you pay.
Right, realm shift here, and then let's take off the Midgard enchantment.
What you've done.
Look at her health. I don't even take half of 1 bar. Let's restart. Obviously it's back on. Let's try it now.
Good. I'll see you pay for what you've done.
Get a little bit more than the half of her health bar. That's the damage. So you're probably wondering, how did I get so much damage increase from just 1 Midgard's enchantment? Well, that's because it's a bug. The Asgard set combined with just 1 Midgard enchantment does this weird thing that increases your damage insanely. And that's how I was able to kill her in 2 hits. So Depending on when you're watching this, this might already be nerfed or not, so enjoy it while it lasts. Hopefully I'll get to the king by then and set another world record. Thanks for watching. A big shout out to Li Wei Yi for telling me about this bug. He doesn't claim to have come up with it either, so if you want to know who he found out from, you're going to have to ask him yourself. I'll link him in the description. And a huge shout out to everyone that's been helping me grow this channel from the day one. All of your supports mean the world to me. Holy shit, Gana, shut the hell up. A huge shout out to everyone that's been supporting this channel, especially the ones that have been there since day one. Love the guys that have been tuning into my streams. You guys make this all worth it. Make the gaming experience way more fun for me. And in return, hopefully I could pump out some good content for you guys to watch and appreciate. These videos take a lot of time and effort to make, so any support is greatly appreciated. And thank you again.